in the Charlotte. I mean, the first thing I'm going to warn you, I'm waiting for a call from the real estate commission in their legal hotline. So if they call, I'm going to pick up and record it because it's kind of an interesting situation. And I don't know. We'll see how it works out. Okay. So this is something that popped up on my radar yesterday. I don't know if I agree with it, but I wanted to talk to you about it because this is a really important conversation. And I had it last night with a listing appointment. So, when you go to list your house, the way that you currently live in your home is not how you need to live in it when you have your house on the market. You need to get it staged, stage it and keep it clean and toys picked up and yard mowed and all that. So, but one of the questions that they asked me last night was, is there something that I can do to my home to maximize value? And we talked about this situation here, this graph, this information, and about a study that was done on what is the best return on investment. Now, I think that when you're looking at this first and third renovation home projects, I think that new front doors can make a decent difference. Is it going to cause a buyer to purchase a home or decide not to purchase a home? Typically not. Now, if you think about homes like Georgian style homes without a front porch, okay? And usually they have big front doors with like glass skylights or transoms down the side. I love it when my face freezes when my mouth is open. It's so good. So, if you have those transoms on the sides or whatever, skylights, if it's wood, if it's an original door and it doesn't have a front porch, those can get pretty rotten. Even with front porches, they can get pretty rotten. So having a steel or fiberglass front door, I think, is a good investment. I think that, to be honest with you, vinyl windows, replacement windows, are a better investment, but they are a more expensive investment. So there's that. I think that a closet renovation is probably one of the better renovations you can do right now because it doesn't cost a lot of money. If you put a little sweat equity into that closet, I've seen some IKEA situations with closets being built out. I've seen, there's all sorts of closet solutions that you can order and put together yourself and build out a pretty decent closet. I think that's a very cost effective thing that you can do that actually may make a difference in the sale of your home. Do I think it's going to bring you a massive return? No. I think still if you're looking at kitchen renovations, minor kitchen upgrades, adding a bathroom or a new primary suite or bathroom renovation, you're going to see maybe not as much of a return on your investment, but that is a situation where a buyer can decide whether to purchase your home based on your master bath, or their kitchen. I'm sorry, primary bath, or your kitchen, and especially the kitchen. And I think the biggest reason why, if you have a macked out kitchen, and I've got clients right now that only want to look at white kitchens. They will not look at kitchens that have any color cabinet in their home except white. If you do a white kitchen renovation with some sort of tile backsplash and white granite or white quartz or marble counters and wood floors, I think that's going to be your maximum punch to the buyer because it's one of the first things they're going to see when they walk in the door, especially if your home is 2-story. That kitchen is like a big left hook. And so for buyers, if you get in their heads with the kitchen, then it's going to stay in their heads. And it may take a little while for them to get to the master bathroom. And by then, they've probably already made a decision on the house. In many cases, they have by the kitchen, because a lot of people say, well, this bathroom's not what I really want, but, who's going to use it but me? And that is the mindset of people. But that kitchen's going to be big. But I will go back to the closet renovation for a minute. If you do a master bathroom upfit, let's say you've got a tile bath and you've got kind of the old tile or the old shower surround with the kind of opaque glass you don't see through, and you change that out with the infinity glass shower surround, and you put in a new vanity and some quartz countertops on that vanity and some new mirrors and new paint, that with a closet renovation might be a pretty good thing. So there's something to have a conversation about. I don't know exactly how buyers, what is a priority for a buyer, because everybody's a little bit different. But if I have a buyer that says I have to have a white kitchen, I'm not going to show them a house that doesn't have a white kitchen. And that kitchen is going to make the difference for them. Now, let's go back down this list a little bit. Basement conversion to living area. I was in a house last night with partially finished basement. There was an extra space that could be renovated out. And we talked about the value of that. Attic conversion to living area, either one of these, basement conversion or attic conversion, I feel like this is free space in a house, or possible more equity that you could pull out of your property. And so I'm a big fan of taking an unfinished basement to a finished out space. And if an attic is something that you can finish out, that is a very cost-effective thing to do. I have a house right now that it's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 4-bedroom, 4-bath. And it has a large 3-car garage. And several of the people that have shown this house have said in feedback, this house is missing a room. And that is a space that could be finished out to find that extra space that you need, whether it's for a playroom or maybe an extra bedroom. So that I'm a big fan of those spaces. But then look down here, we've got kitchen upgrade again, new bath, add a new bath, which 56% of the money spent you will have a return on. New primary suite, 54%, and bathroom renovation at 50%. You know what? I think the front door, you're going to get the maximum amount of money from the steel front door or the fiberglass front door. They don't cost that much, and it's easy to get that return. So that's my take on it. I'm not so sure that all of these are correct, but I do think for the most part, I have known for a while that if you fully renovated your kitchen and then and put your house on the market right away, you weren't going to get that money back. And same with a master bath or primary bath, or any bath renovation. But I was really surprised with the front door, the steel front door, and the closet renovation doesn't really surprise me, because I'm seeing closets become more and more of a priority for buyers. So I'm not surprised with that. It's just something that I've kind of noticed, but I haven't really thought about it that much. So now I'm starting to think about it. And yeah, I think that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. So, what are your thoughts about it? What do you think would be the what do you think would be like the most money, you would spend on something, and what would be the one thing or two things in a house that were done that would cause you to decide whether or not to buy a home? I think that the kitchen is the biggest thing. Um, and a lot of people like an open concept type kitchen. But there are a lot of homes on the market that don't have that. Any home that's built in the 90s is not going to have it. Early 2000s, probably not. So, would you leave those homes off your list, even if the kitchens were renovated, um, to just because it wasn't an open concept? This is always something I think about, and I just really like to talk about it. Now, I've got one more thing that I want to talk about today that also is a chart that I saw, and it's something that kind of hurts my heart to see, and it does talk about what we deal with a lot, which is affordability. So here, let me share this with you so you can take a look at it. So this is households by highest price home they can afford. I can't say this is a shock, but it does kind of put into light sort of what we are dealing with in the real estate market, and affordability is a serious situation. So in the United States, nearly 60% of US households are unable to afford a $300,000 home. And that is a very, very interesting piece of data. Now, there's a lot of variables there that have to do with down payment and interest rates and things about how much can someone afford. But I think with right now, with interest rates the way they are, $300,000 house, we're probably looking at about $1,800 house payment if you include taxes and insurance. And that's expensive for a lot of people in this country. So here where we have the 200,000 to 300,000 and then under $200,000 mortgages or sales prices, not a surprise. And I actually have a buyer that is desperately trying to find a home under 250 in Union County, and it's not impossible because there are some out there, but this is someone that has children, and they're going to want to buy a house they can move in and live in, and finding a home that is livable in Union County right now under 250 is incredibly hard. So this is not something that I have closed my eyes to, because I'm very aware of the affordability. And the problem for a lot of people is moving out causes problems with household money because of having to spend more money on gasoline and things like that. I had a client a few years ago that lived about an hour away from their work. And we had a period of time back in 2008, 9, 10, 2008, 9, somewhere around there, where gas prices got super, super high. And it actually pushed his household budget over the limit. And they had to make some decisions about their living situation because gas became too expensive, and it pushed their household budget to the brink and beyond. So, I understand, and people say, well, just move out. That's not always an option for people. And, it's a tough situation, and I've sold some homes about an hour away from Monroe in a little town called Hartsville. And we've talked about Hartsville a little bit. I love Hartsville, and I think it's a great place to live. It's a really cool town. It's not a big town, and people are super friendly there, but not everybody can work there. And so if you work remotely, it's one thing. If you're a remote worker, you work from home, finding a new home that may be a little bit further out so that you can afford it is certainly an option. But if you're driving into work every day, that's not an issue. That's not a situation you can do. So it's just something that I've been it's sort of been on my heart about. I something to keep in mind. It is a tough market right now for people because of interest rates. And I keep hoping that interest rates will continue to go down, and I certainly hope they do. Now, just so you know, because I have one more chart here that you can actually see from this 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 thing that you're looking at. I have a little visual that I saved on my computer because I think it's a really cool little thing, which is all the Pyrex bowl. This also interests me. So, I talk about what interests me. And even if it's not real estate, all the Pyrex bowl patterns since 1956 to 1986. And yeah, there's that. There's some of them I knew, the rainbow stripes and the dots, but I don't think I ever knew that there was a Forest Fancies like forest scene on Pyrex, and I just think it's very cool. So, all right, well, that is what I have for you today. Let me know, what do you think about renovations? What is a renovation that would cause you to buy a home, or is there a project that you would want to see done in a home, or are there projects that you don't want to see, or are there things that you are willing to do to your home to get it ready for market? I do think that closet thing might be the biggest bang for your buck. And I've seen some horrific closets, and people feel good about a house when there's some closet organizers and things. So I think that might be the thing that I've learned most from that chart. And yeah, we'll just kind of keep an eye on it this year and see how my buyers and sellers are thinking about. So, well, that's what I've got for you today. If you want to join my newsletter that goes out every week, charlottemarketbuzz.com, CLTMARKETBUZZ.com. Sign up. You'll get my newsletter. Hope to see you here tomorrow at 9:30 on a Friday. Happy Thursday to you all today. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.